Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart. How much you missing? And you deserve. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. There goes a sight from my soul. I think a fall angel just walked by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul.
Hello and welcome everybody to week 3 of the Upsurge Premier League. I am Trevor Audio Goodrich, and joining me today on the desk is none other than Robert Sordo Santiago.
Hi, welcome again. We're back in the Mountain League to see ANEW Esports versus Stony Brook University, the top 2 teams right now in the Mountain Division, both sitting at 2-0. But Stony Brook does have a bit of advantage right now in the standings that they have yet to drop a game, whereas ANEW Esports did drop that second game in week 1 to Mirage Esports. So this is going to be a real interesting one. The top 2 teams battling it out. So we're already into the first pick. Aatrox going to be taken for the side of Stony Brook, with Silas coming right after.
Not too surprising to see the flex picks going all over the place right now. Those 2 making it through the ban phase, going to be snatched up real quick by these teams. That Karthus was hovered briefly. Now it's going to be the Amumu as Yvonne decides what jungler he wants to pick up.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
it's
yes.
already the
It's
kitty.
going to be the Yuumi coming through there for Sir Kenji down on the bot side. Yumi's been making such a big splash in the competitive world lately.
Yeah, no, she eventually hit the worst win rate to ever come out of League of Legends, giving the title, that was originally held by Syndra, right? And now it goes to Yuumi, right? She had, I think, a 24% win rate. But now that people are starting to understand what she does and how annoying she is in lane, the fact that you put 2 points in her Q and now she's doing 150 damage per every single time you hit it if it goes towards the maximum range, it just becomes disgusting. Plus the heals, the fact that you can take her with Ezreal or Tristana, and it makes such a good impact. But on the opposite side, we're going to see Jace picked up and yet again going through with these flex picks. Now that Jace can either go in the mid or top. Same thing with the Aatrox, and the Nautilus also going to be picked up most likely for BioPanda, but the counter pick coming out for Dog, that's going to be the Sivir, a great pick into Stony Brook's team already.
It definitely is. The Sivir has been one of the premier AD carries to pair with that Yuumi. Is once you land the Prowling projectile, it is a very easy Boomerang Blade follow-up to go on top of that, just increasing the poke. One of the counters we have seen to the Yuumi, though, is the Nautilus, because you basically get a 2-for-1 engage if you're ever able to find that hook onto the AD carry, albeit the Sivir is going to have the spell shield, but, in team fights, it's easier to grab both of those champions at once.
Now the issue becomes for Stony Brook, who do they pick in response to the Sivir Yuumi? That 2 of the good champions into it, Lucian and Draven, are already taken off the table. So now you still have picks like the Ezra, like the Kaisa still up. Even though Ezreal doesn't have that good of a time into Sivir, it's still one of the top tier ADCs, as well as Jinx is still up there too. But the thing is, right now for Stony Brook, you are lacking AP like crazy. And you already have your top and mid basically locked in here, unless they throw the Aatrox into the jungle. Yeah. So you're kind of in a bit of a pinch here if you are Stony Brook, as the jungler right now is being hovered for the side of ANEW Esports. Hecarim being hovered here. See if they want to lock it in.
Could be a very good pick, especially with that Yuumi, the dive potential, and it's going to be that pickup for the jungle. That's one of so annoying. Yuumi so strong in the early game laning phase, and then as you start to get into the mid to late team fights, you just throw her onto the dive champion. Onslaught of Shadows into the backline with the final chapter just opening up onto the entire team can be such an oppressive combo.
Yeah, it's just a really big nuisance to deal with. Quirky being hovered here though and locked in. So still for the side of for Stony Brook here, it's kind of a bit wishy-washy. That could be a quirky ADC that we do see oddness with teleport. So it could be almost anything. Talia being hovered.
We could have a quirky in the bot lane.
Okay.
Talia in the jungle is what I am assuming.
Okay.
But lots of flex picks coming out from the side of Stony Brook. We don't exactly know where these champions are going.
So we've started to see back in Korean solo queue, Talia start to emerge again with the red buff into Krugs, Raptors. You just full clear. Now that the scuttle doesn't spawn at 2:15 and now, or at 2 minutes, and now spawns towards 3:15, right? It makes things a lot easier for her. She doesn't have to fight level 2, which was one of her weaker points, and she doesn't have to gank so early into the game. Now she has time to farm up and eventually duel people like Hecarim. If Hecarim wants to go in with his E, Talia can use her Unraveled Earth and push him away as well. So now you have that Aatrox mid, Jace top, really good matchups here for ANEW Esports. And now that you're allowed to farm with the Talia, you're setting yourself up for late game. The only issue that you have right now is that you don't really have that solid of a front line. You really are banking on the fact that Darkwing's for sale can get a reset on his World Ender, or you're really going to run into problems once you hit that mid game.
Absolutely, you will. And we definitely see a very different compositions coming out from these two teams. It's going to be Stony Brook going for that 1-3-1. They want to win through those side lanes, get the Jace and the Aatrox ahead, where if you look at the other side of ANEW Esports, it's just full team fight. They want to get into the mid game, group around these objectives, and force the 5v5 time and time again, where that Yuumi and Hecarim pair is going to be so strong.
Yeah, and the thing is, for the Sylas, you have so many good ults to steal. You have the Weaver's Wall, you have the World Ender, you have the Depth Charge as well. So you have so many different ways to engage, as well as the Onslaught of Shadow, Shockwave, and the Sivir ult coming behind it. And then you cannot forget the Yuumi behind that as well. So there's so many different ways that ANEW Esports can engage that it really boils down to if Stony Brook can build an advantage in that early game. You have an advantage with the Jace lane. You have an advantage with the Aatrox lane. That if you really don't build something within those solo lanes, it's just going to be the mid-game team fight of ANEW that's just going to run over you if you're Stony Brook.
Absolutely. Well, these teams are getting geared up and ready to go. If you want to get geared up as well, there is no better place to do so than Kono. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, it all starts with your peripherals. From keyboards to keycaps, mice, and more, our friends at Kono have got you covered. Kono works with some of the world's best designers, inventors, and makers to bring you some of the best peripherals around. Kono have been huge supporters of us here at Upsurge, and they've made generous contributions to all the prize pools. If you need to find a new keyboard or more for your setup, we cannot recommend Kono more. For more information, please head over to kono.store to check out all they have on offer. That is KONO.store. Kono, discover amazing products. But we're going to head into a short break here as the teams get ready. We will see you when we get back onto the Rift. And welcome back, everybody. We are out onto the Rift for the first game of the best of 3 series between Stony, Brook, and ANEW Esports, the battle for the top of the mountain group. And right away, we see ANEW going out in a 5-man group. We could see something a little spicy here.
Yeah, no, they've been known to do this a lot, but they don't have that much engage level 1 unless the Silas takes that E.
The Prowling projectile could be what actually gets them the engage, though, in a flash away immediately from Dark Wings.
Yeah, again, that, oh my god. The Yumi Q! It's so annoying!
It's akin to something like Olaf axes, where once you get hit by it, it's just such an oppressive slow that you have to flash away, because it keeps you in range long enough for the rest of the team to catch up.
The thing is, it does so much damage, as well as it slows for, what is it, like 50% or something along those lines? Yeah, too much. It slows for too much. That's basically what it is. So, I mean, it's difficult to deal with, is the issue. So, I mean, Darkwing forced to flash already, but it's not the worst thing in the world. As long as he has vision on Yvonne, then he should be fine. That he doesn't really need the flash into Julian here. That in reality, Darkwing is going to get pushed around. That it is a control mage versus a bruiser. So as long as Julian plays the matchup correctly, it should just be one-sided towards him. But eventually, once World Ender comes in, you know, Dark Wings is going to be pushing around his weight a little.
Absolutely. We definitely expect a lot of jungle attention into the top and mid side for Stony Brook anyway. That's kind of what their composition is built around, is getting them ahead. So I expect Whisperance, especially with this splashdown, to just kind of be hovering around the area.
You know, and it's kind of surprising for me that Whisperance went the red into Raptors into Krugs instead of going the other way around into Krugs Raptors. That now he's going to delay his back unless he intends to go straight bot here, and it might all work out for him. As we just see the nuisance that is Sivir Yumi. Dog coming in here, just using his Boomerang Blade plus his Ricochet just to push in the wave over and over and over again. But I mean, Oddness is still keeping up in CS pretty well, as we see a recall coming out from Whisperance. So he's going to do the clear bot side into just backing. He does get his Hunter's Machete, which makes his clear a little bit better. Now you get the mana plus HP, and now he can go contest towards that top side Scuttle Crab.
Absolutely. They also do have some good defensive vision there in the bot side for Dog and Sir Kenji, just making sure that Talia is not going to come. She did opt for the, you know, just back after the Krugs, now going to be going up into her blue side. Might be finding Hecarim up here around this Scuttle spawn.
Yeah, no, the Hecarim does spot out the Talia. We see the Orianna roaming as well. The Pinkbird going to take out the ward. But Julian, again, he has so much pressure in the mid lane versus the Aatrox. 3 people are going to collapse here, and that's most likely just going to be the Scuttle Crab going over. But I think people want to fight here.
Yeah, ANEW did roam to the play first. Now they're going to
good cancel.
He's going to line onto the Aatrox. He has no flash, and that's going to be the first blood going over to Orianna. Sausage Girl is able to find one on the backside. Now he has to run for his life. Yvonne finds a second, and it is 2 for 1 for the side of ANEW.
Yeah, it was a good cancel.
Whisperance gets knocked back. A really good wraparound. Double TP being channeled. Whisperance got 150
Triple TP.
HP, but Darkwing is back in the fight. So is the Silas. He's going back in as well. People are falling left and right as Darkwing's for sale grabs another one. Now on the bot side, we see a little bit of a scuttle, but I think for the most part, the fighting is well and over. Overall, 3 for 2 trade in favor of ANEW Esports.
My goodness, just really well rotations there coming out from ANEW Esports. But I mean, it ends up being the teleports that come out that really do save Stony Brook here. That if it wasn't for that, they would have just gotten destroyed in that matchup. Great cancel there on the side of Dark Wings, that he did cancel the Silas coming in. But I mean, it still didn't matter. The early game damage coming out from the Silas and Hecarim, especially the Hecarim with the Conqueror, you know, he just lived for so long that it made it almost impossible for Talia to do anything. And it was all Aatrox trying to do something to keep his team in that fight.
It's always great to see these early level fights where they can last long enough for people to respawn and join back in.
Yeah, I was
Both
kind of
Dark Wings for
confused
sale
there.
and Silas teleporting in.
I was just like, where are the teleports coming in?
Wait,
They
didn't you
just
already
died.
die? Oh, and out here on the top side with sprints, looking for the seismic shove, definitely gonna be thrown out first. Silas doesn't have flash because of that earlier fight, and it should be a trivial takedown for Sausage Girl. As he finds that one with the help of his jungler.
I mean, now we start to see the advantage that needs to come in for Stony Brook if they intend to win on trying something.
Not gonna find it. The power of that Yuumi, if you're able to find it with the Hecarim. I like that Sir Kenji, though, is coming out of this lane to roam around with the jungle. Making the push here. No attack. Falling projectile. Egon could be in a little bit of a trouble. The knockup coming through. 2 more is gonna find Dark Wings for sale. His 2nd kill of the game.
Yeah, really big misplay there coming out from Yvonne. He's going into the enemy jungle. Yes, you have Sir Kenji there. But again, Sir Kenji's still a level 4 Yuumi. She can't do that much for you versus 2 damage dealers, especially someone like an Aatrox, that if he hits his, empowered Q, that he's going to do, 150 damage at this point, and he can do that 3 separate times, as well as the Talia behind it. You're not going to be living things like that. You're seeing how much damage he's already doing to the Orianna, 160 when he hits the sweet spot on that Q.
She's doing a good amount of damage back. The Dark Wings for sale takes a bad trade, walks away with a little under a quarter of his health, but we talked about the composition of Stony Brook coming through here. They want to play through their solo lanes. They have 4 kills right now. Look where that gold is at. 2-1 on the top laner, 2-1 on the mid laner. This team is set up perfectly for success.
Yeah, but the thing is, for ANEW Esports, they're still building their advantage in that bot lane, already having a CS lead. And, I mean, even though that's the case, for the side of Stony Brook, you're still right in the fact that the mid-game spike for them is just a lot here. That Corki's going to spike the moment that he hits Trinity Force. And like you said, all the gold right now is invested in that Jason Aatrox that are both sitting at 2 and 1. But they still do have gold bounties, and you still have a tempo jungler in Hecarim that could result in those bounties going over to a Silas and Orianna. And if that's the case, that entire, early game that you just made gets thrown out the window.
Definitely can't be thrown away just as quickly as it was gotten. Inferno Drake now on the table. This could be a point of contention for these teams want to fight around. Teleport's not up quite yet, just on Oddness there in the bot lane, so we might see some roams down here.
Vision is going to most likely be established for the side of ANEW here, seeing as though the bot lane just has so much pressure. Just the boomerang blade into Ricochet. Yeah, there we go. Into the Ricochet just over and over and over again. You constantly push it in, and that's the power
He
you
does go in, gets the stun onto the Sivir, but you may be able to just attach on. It's pretty low on mana. The spell shield not going to actually block that ultimate from Quirky, so Dog is still going to be pretty low on mana here. Probably try to shut off the wave and get a good back off.
Yuumi doing Yuumi things, gets hooked. No problem. Let me just jump on my ADC's
So I
back.
was glad that you could vote.
Like, my goodness, what a concept. What a
Whisper's here. It's revisited the top side though. Doesn't land a seismic shove. Shock Blast gonna go wide as well. So he looks so charming. Walking out of that one pretty healthy.
Yeah, but that's going to instantly translate into the Infernal Dragon here going over to ANEW Esports. Just the instant rotation on it. And like I was saying, Dog and Sir Kenji have such pressure in that bot lane that there's really nothing that Oddness and Biopanda can do, and that's just going to be the first dragon of the series, the Infernal Dragon, going over to ANEW Esports.
That one's going to be so beneficial for them. Other than the Yuumi, 4 out of 5 of their champions are damage dealers that want to skill up into the late game, so that Infernal is going to be putting in work on this team if this game extends past the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, but we do have to be careful here that Oddness does have package, so Julian might be in a bit of a predicament here if he gets his back stopped.
Ooh, see a nice W, gonna drag the Orianna back in. Julian flashing away from Darkwings as he pops up World Ender and dashes over the wall to get himself out. Julian, though, he's going to be taken down as Oddness uses that package to dive the turret. World Ender will be procced, so the Darkwings will revive after that play. Sausage Girl taking a turret shot just to make sure he stays alive. And a quick play there by Stony. Brook grabs them a 1 kill and a couple plates in the middle.
Yeah, no, you see the early damage coming out from Darkwings instantly doing 300 damage, hitting double sweet spot onto Julian. And like I said, Oddness had the package, no one respected it, and Julian goes down for it. Both Yvonne and Julian's flash being burned in the process, while it's only Darkwings that ends up burning his flash. But again, on the bot side, we just see Sivir getting plate after plate after plate. And if it wasn't for Oddness getting that kill in the mid lane, he would be down quite a bit of gold. But right now, the gold is still relatively even between Dog and Oddness.
Yeah, with Oddness roaming up there to the mid lane, did allow Dog to get a little bit of extra gold in his pocket. But, Oddness is getting closer to that drive force point. The crucial power spike that you were talking about, where he's actually going to be able to start committing to these fights. Yvonne up here on the top side, he's able to knock back Sausage Girl, who returns the favor and flashes away. Should be all right in that one.
Yeah, no,
Silas
good
was
respect
close enough
flash.
to follow up on that play.
Yeah, just a clean respect flash coming out from Sausage Girl. No need to die there. But this is actually really massive. Dog ends up hitting the power spike, gets the Essence Reaver. So now, Oddness will back and get Trinity Force, most likely. But the thing is, now that the Sivir has Essence Reaver, she can basically just permanently sit bot lane and push waves over and over and over again. And this is what you want to do if you're Sivir Yuumi. You don't want to allow the mid-game champion of Corki to, have pressure against you. So what do? You Boomerang Blade. Oh my goodness, I am having such problems with this. Boomerang Blade the wave as well as it is. It really is. And then you just ricochet right afterwards, and there you go. You push the wave over and over and over.
All of you at home, try saying Boomerang Blade 5 times fast. We dare you. Now you see the rest of ANEW Esports grouping up in there in the spot side. We're just going to come help Hygram donate the blue over to Julian there in the mid lane. Rift Herald could be the object of Stony Brook's desire right now. They are going to pick that one up. So nice early grab. We'll see if they're able to drop it here in the next minute before these plates fall.
Yeah, there we go. Straight.
Immediate as Whisperance drops that one over the top side of the wall. Now, final chapter going to be thrown out here in the bot side, just trying to zone Oddness and Biopanda away from this turret. Gonna bring Hecarim down there as well, and Shelly does get a couple charges here. Whisperance might be looking for the dive. Wave is not there quite yet.
This is going to be the attempt to get the tower.
He actually gets really low though, as you look so charming. Sniffs this one out and turns it around onto Jace. Grabs the Talia ultimate. Seismic shove, looking, not gonna find it quite yet. Just going to take a couple shots and back away. Really good job by You Look So Charming to avoid that dive, which buys so much time for Dog and Sir Kenji in the spot side. They're gonna grab first turret.
Yeah, they're gonna get first turret plus the plate. And that is actually really massive for them. Good play by Yvonne. He ends up pushing Oddness and Biopanda out of lane, and it just becomes a free tower over to Dog and Sir Kenji. Even though the Rift Herald was used in the top lane, and they do get 2 plates out of it, it still does not compare to the first tower going down in the bot lane. And now the lead for the late game team in ANEW Esports is now strongly in their favor.
Definitely is. They are sitting about 1,000 gold over their opponents. Good majority of that is sitting on the Sivir here in the bot side. Currently sitting 600 gold above the Corki. She's going to be feeling really nice coming into these team fights. Second Infernal going to be spawning, and this is about the time where ANEW Esports wants to start grouping up with their team fighting competition. Get the Hecarim plus the Yuumi, and here it goes into the backline. World Ender immediately pops. He starts looking for still safe. Sausage goes into the backline. A nice knockup on an Ebon. He's gonna go down. Now Silas has to flash out of the fight. Package going to be used into the backline. Second Valkyrie, the final chapter coming up with Biopanda goes golden. Oddness is gonna take down the Silas. And Biopanda not finding that hook. Darkwings trying to go under the Sivir, but has the Yuumi attached. So far. It's a shutdown though with the Orianna finds Dark Wings. Sivir is gonna find one on the backside, and it coming up big on the backhand of the fight is ANEW Esports.
My god, Dog is just a monster right now, dodging everything and staying alive. And this is what you want if you are Dog. You want to be sitting in the backline with Sir Kenji, using that that final chapter, and just stunning up people. As long as Sivir stays alive in that back line with Yuumi, ANEW Esports is almost guaranteed to win every fight. And as a consolation prize, they're also going to get the Infernal Drake as well.
Prince is sitting over the wing, doesn't have the flash available, and the smite will secured by Yvonne. So the double Infernal Dragon. I'm feeling so good for them. And you see Stony Brook have started to fall in that trap of being pulled to these big objectives, pulled to these big team fights, where it is definitely ANEW Esports that have the upper hand.
Yeah, no, if you don't end up getting a pick quickly onto someone like Julian, like Dog, you're going to lose the fight if you are Stony Brook. Darkwing stays alive for so long, uses the World Ender correctly, but it really doesn't matter. Oddness wasn't able to do damage in that fight. Whisperance was doing minimal damage, and you just had Dog alive the entire fight. Able to dodge the Nautilus hook, able to just stay alive on when Darkwings went on him, and it was just an easy fight for him. Yvonne trying to make something happen here.
Jace grabbed that top lane turret, now flashes away, but could be looking to turn it around as Whisperance uses the Weaver's Wall to join the fight. Shockwave gonna get Yvonne low, but not low enough. This Dog has come up to the top side and give his team a little bit of a reprieve. Overall, no kill's gonna go over, but it was the flash burnt by Sausage.
Sausage Girl playing a pretty solid
nice
game.
Onto the Yuumi, onto the turret. Is just gonna dive onto the Sivir. Spell Shield keeps her safe. Just so annoying. And you're watching Sir Kenji time and time again get hit by those hooks and just hops onto her carry.
Man, all I can imagine Yuumi is kind of like Mr. Meeseeks. It's like, I'm Mr. Meeseeks, look at me, try to hook me, gets the hook, but it doesn't mean anything. He just uses his W and goes on to another champion. It's so annoying to deal with, and especially for someone like, oh, hello, Sir Kenji, that's not where you want to be.
Blown up, not in range to jump to an ally that time. Can't make the quick escape, and Sir Kenji feels the pressure of that low health pool, and he is going to go down.
You know what? I blame myself for that one. We hit him with the caster's curse. We're like, oh, you know, he can jump onto champions. He's never gonna die, blah, blah, blah. Instantly gets clapped, sent to the Shadow Realm. See you, you can go read your book while you're respawning, all right? That's basically what just happened to Sir Kenji. Good pick there by Stony Brook, though. It ends up giving them a bit more time to try to get into that mid game that they really needed. They need those two items to come online. Corki finally finishing his Trinity Force, so let's see what he goes into next. Most likely something like an RFC will probably come up next, that he needs a bit of range to be able to survive the engage coming out from Yvonne and Julian. That again, as long as Oddness can stay alive a little bit, he can output a fair bit of damage.
That he can. Talking about item breakpoints, Sausage Girl finishing that lethality item. Did make the pit stop for the Hex Drinker, so that delayed his power spikes just a little bit. Looks like he's going to be going to a Black Cleaver after that, so really going for this 1v1 split push style with his build. See, a nice W's going to be landed onto Dog. Darkwing's looking for some poke, but Yvonne and Sir Kenji are waiting in the wings.
Wow.
Look at that heal.
Wow.
My
that is
goodness. All of that work, that hard work from Darkwings erased with a single ability.
Hits 2 Qs, Yumi's like, hold my drink, let me just press one button twice and just heal it back to full.
Yvonne could be looking for a dive, is kind of caught out here though, takes a little bit of damage. They want that turret, but they're not going to find it quite yet. Seismic Jump going to grab the Sivir, and she's going to get shut down. Well, then they're going to be popped as well. Weaver's Wall coming through. Traps Yvonne inside of it. As they're able to find a second pick. Now the flash forward from Darkwings. He wants to find a third. A double kill as they find Julian on the backhand of that fight. A quick 3-0 trade there from Stony Brook, and they're looking for more. Sir Kenji, the squishy Yuumi, no target to attach to. Down very low, but he was not gonna find it though. The range wasn't quite enough. But very good fight coming out here from Stony Brook, finding the picks and turning it into a fight.
Yeah, no, Dog barely had his flash coming off cooldown, so he didn't have it there, and that does cost him his life. Really big misplay coming out from Yvonne, though. He does get caught out yet again, sitting at 1-4. And this was one of the bigger issues coming out from ANEW Esports when they faced Mirage. In the fact that you look so charming and Yvonne, if they started to get behind, they really started to get behind. So hopefully when we get towards the mid to late game, they can pick up their slack a little bit and hopefully, you know, develop into that late game team comp that everyone knows that ANEW Esports has.
Absolutely. Now the Mountain Dragon going to be a third one spawning. Looks like ANEW really not going to have any contention here over that one. They have complete vision control in this river. The rest of the team is hovering around this Baron. They might be looking to set up a death push. In and out of vision. Don't know they're in here. The hook not gonna land. Kenji throwing out that smoke.
It's going really far here.
Chapter is thrown out, but they are diving into the backline so far. Dog is able to take out the Aatrox before the World Ender. Oddness finds another one as the Nautilus flashes away, but still goes down. This fight is going so in the hand of ANEW Esports right now. It was Stony Brook that looked for the engage, but it was ANEW Esports that played the fight so well, and they're going to pick up the reward of this tier 2 mid lane.
Darkwing was playing Aatrox as if it was the old one where you automatically get revived after World Ender, but I mean, he got popped, and that just spills the end for Stony Brook there. He's a lot of your gold lead, and if you don't have him throughout the entire fight, you're just going to lose. Orianna, great shockwave towards the Talia, ends up forcing her flash out as well. And again, your big advantage in Sausage Girl was not used as well due to the fact that he just had to run away, and there's just nothing that Stony Brook could do there.
Seemed like a little bit of desperation coming out from their teams. Even though they set up the death bush, they throw out a premature Nautilus hook, alerted the team of their presence. It didn't land, but they still decided to go through with the engage after the fact. Just seems like they might be a little, sweating a little bit in their seats, looking, knowing that they are going to get outscaled. They won't be able to win these team fights, so they're trying to find advantages where there might not be any.
They do have vision onto the Talia, though. Yuumi as well. They have vision onto her. She might be getting picked here.
Goodbye. And the seismic shove immediately taken down. You can see how squishy that Yuumi can be if she is not attached to an enemy.
My God. I mean, that's the one, downside that you have for Yuumi, and as a support, you want to be establishing vision as best you can, and she does have the best vision score in the game by far. But if you get caught out like that, you're just going to be deleted off the face of the earth. And Baron is going to be started up here by Stony Brook. They do have teleport on the Aatrox. Vision is being established here.
He has the Onslaught of Shadows available, but Whisperance is 2 levels up over Hecarim, so we'll have the better smite. But with the health bars dropping low from the Baron, Stony Brook not comfortable enough to actually commit to the play, so they're going to back off.
Yeah, the one person that can tank it in the Aatrox is down bot lane trying to get that T1 tower. He's still not going to be able to get it. So, I mean, it was a pretty good play there coming out from Stony Brook, just executed pretty poorly there.
Was that Aatrox not really making much of a headway here in the bot lane against the Sylas. Now has a little bit of armor under his belt, and he is doing just fine. We haven't seen as much solo lane pressure as we would have expected from this Stony Brook composition.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I mean, how can you really have solo lane pressure when now you have the Sivir sitting at 3 items 24 minutes into the game? My only concern right now for ANEW Esports is looking at Yvonne. Look at the build that he's going. He's still going that damage-heavy build with the Trinity Force. So it's going to be a bit of time before he'll be, that big front tanky bruiser that ANEW needs, especially when team fights are going to be more and more prevalent.
So you would expect, especially with being the delivery service of the Yuumi, of the Oriana ball that you would opt into a little bit more damage, but wants to try to just get the picks, find the raw damage, not go for those resistances. It's here on the bot side. Darkwing throwing a couple of skill shots out. Silas, once again, wave clearing very well against Darkwings.
Yeah, I mean, before his rework comes in the next patch, he can still just press his Q and use his passive just to clear waves over and over and over again.
A little bit of a scuffle as Darkwings was stunned up under the turret. Takes a couple of shots, but be able to dash away with the lead. And now the rest of ANEW are going to grab that top lane turret that has been sitting at such low health for so long. Finally cash in on that objective, and now they might have their eyes set on Baron.
Yeah, both You Look So Charming and Darkwings do have teleport. You Look So Charming is going to make his way towards the Baron, and that's going to be the bot lane T1 going down as well. Dragon spawning up here in a couple of seconds, so it's probably going to be a fight as it is a Cloud Drake coming up now. Guarantee it's going to be Stony Brook getting this dragon, because it always ends up being that when you're ahead, it's only Cloud Drakes. When you're behind, it's only Infernals and Mountains. But here's the bigger buff being started.
I think ANEW Esports is fine with giving up that Drake if it means they can get the Baron. They do pull off of it. They might look towards that Dragon. Cloud Drake is notoriously very good on Hecarim, who gets the extra damage from the move speed. They're just looking for maybe a play. Not even going to go check that Drake pit. And as you predicted, you're so accurate, it's going to be the Cloud Drake going over to Stony Brook.
Man, it's just... oh, God. It's every time. You know, go look at your solo queue games. Go look at competitive, right? The team, you know, that you're looking at, right? One team's going to get all Infernals. The other's going to get all Clouds and Oceans. It's every single time. You see Bile Panda getting really low.
He's going very aggressive, though. Ultimate going to come out from the Nautilus. Has to flash away. Spell Shield not available. That's a lot burnt from Dog. With the Shockwave going to go through, the Yumi going to find the shutdown onto Oddness. Now the Sivir is going to fall as well. Both AD carries out of the play. You Look So Charming will take Jace away as Yvonne is going to be the next casualty. And the Silence just going absolute bonkers here in the back line. Darkwings, the ultimate going to timeout very soon. Doesn't have the revive available, and a triple kill from You Look So Charming. A beautiful teleport there into that play. Completely turns it around there for ANEW.
Yeah, and this is where You Look So Charming really does develop into the player that we know and love. Popping off in that fight, getting a triple kill, and that's just going to be the inhibitor going over to ANEW Esports. And this is where they have been excelling. In the games versus Mirage, they were behind in the early game, but then picked it up later on into the game. They're still down 3 kills, but are still keeping the gold lead in their favor. The Sivir up so much CS, sitting at around 40 CS up. You have the top laner ahead. You have the mid laner even. The only lane that's really behind lane is Yvonne right now, and that's to be expected. Talia does farm quite a bit. She wants to hit those item power spikes, and now that Hecarim has hit that Trinity Force, I do expect him to go into things like the Sterex Gauge, maybe into something like a Spirit Visage, to try to eat up some of the damage coming out from Whisperance and Oddness.
You do see Julian waiting here in this bush, gonna back away as he spots the team coming in. Moving around Baron. Nice shockwave back into the Baron, actually. Darkwing's falling very low.
That's going to be his GA.
Yeah, his G. He did get popped as the Baron finds the damage. A massive cooldown there for Darkwings. That's a great play there by Julian.
Yeah, he just got that item, and Baron hitting him with the snipe there real quick. But this is most likely just going to be Baron started up here by ANEW Esports.
I don't know if they have the information that the GA is popped. They will see it once Aatrox joins the fight, but this Baron is going down so quickly thanks to that double Infernal and Mountain. It's not even going to be contested. Weaver's Wall going to come through, split up the team, but it's too little too late. ANEW Esports walks away with a Baron.
Yeah, that's just a free Baron for them. Sivir doing so much damage, sitting at 4 items, 100% crit right now. That is massive for her. She doesn't really need to go lifesteal because she already has it in the runes, as well as the Yumi behind her healing her up. So it's just going to be Freelo in the back line using that Ricochet and just getting massive amounts of damage. Already has the lethal tempo with the Ardent Sensor. So it's just going to be Attack Speed City coming out from Dog here.
And now it's going to be so difficult for Stony Brook to actually pull off that 1-3-1 that they drafted around going into this Baron, especially with the wave clear of the Sivir, the Orianna. It's just such a good sieging team. It would be a rough couple minutes for Stony Brook as they try to weather the storm. Now their entire team is coming down to try to collapse on He Looks So Charming, but he is finding so much damage onto Onnes. Final chapter going to be used there by the Yuumi. Stony of Dark Blaze doesn't have that GA, and he's going to go down. World Ender not even going to be committed. Now He Looks So Charming grabs the Nautilus ultimate, and now the rest of ANEW is looking for this bot lane tier 2.
Yeah, they can't even walk up here just because of the fear of the depth charge coming out from You Look So Charming. And they still have the siege minion as well, so this is going to be the siege onto the inhibitor tower. Mid lane inhib is still down though, so this is going to be really difficult here for Stony Brook. They try to defend, gets deleted.
The back line. The Silas is going to go golden and drop that aggro. Dog finds the jungler, and it is just ANEW Esports pull the trigger. They find the fight. They got the Baron, and they will immediately close the game, looking for a very clean 1-0 start over Stony Brook Esports.
I know so many things were going well for Stony Brook, but it ends up being the rotations coming out from ANEW Esports, and it's just going to get them the easy 31.5 minute victory in game 1 here.
That was definitely not what we expected, when we went
Not
into
at all.
the series. Giving Stony Brook the advantage in that one is they were undefeated here in the Mountain group. Not anymore. ANEW Esports definitely showing that they are a contender for that top spot.
Yeah, no, definitely. Finally handing Stony Brook their first loss, and ANEW is looking really strong right now. Yes, Yvonne did have a bit of a rough game, but he did do his job in that mid to late team fight, there. But I mean, the real part of that was just Dog sitting in the back line, getting massive amounts of damage off, and there was just nothing that Stony Brook could do. If they tried to move forward with Dark Wings, he would get popped instantly, the shockwave into the final chapter being used, and he just can't move. The Talia, even though in theory it's a good pick, if they would have picked, maybe a tank, someone to engage for them, it might have worked out a bit better. That Whisperance didn't really do much of anything in that game. We go look at the damage. It ends up being the Jace doing the least amount of damage out of the damage dealers here. And I mean, there's just nothing that he can do in this matchup.
And that was despite such a good start for the solo laners. Both Jace and Aatrox started 2-1, but it just seemed like the Yuumi plus the Hecarim was shutting down every single play that Stony Brook actually tried to pull off. It was always Sir Kenji roaming around with Yvonne. Anytime Whisperance showed his face, those two were there to reply. So I don't expect the Yuumi to get through the pick and ban phase next time. No. I kind of hope it doesn't, but I think there's definitely some things that Stony Brook showed us that were really good. They had a lot of great engages, and I think if you just kind of clean up your draft a little bit, they can still have a serious shot at this series.
Yeah, no, definitely. But we're going to have to see as we cut to a short break here. But when we come back, we'll have game number 2 of Stony Brook University versus ANEW Esports. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of Stony Brook Esports versus ANEW. We had a absolutely fantastic Game 1. Just such back and forth fights, but it was ANEW Esports who found a great composition to scale into the late game and take the first game off of Stony Brook that we have seen this season.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, we were talking a little bit about it during the pregame here, that the Talia pick, you know, it seemed like something that has been coming back into the meta. We've started to see it across the ocean, in the LCK, in Korean solo queue. But I mean, Whisperance just made it seem underpowered in a sense. Not really getting anything off in that mid game. Did get some early ganks off, but you know, it still ended up being ANEW Esports getting the W. And like you were saying in the post game last game, Yuumi not getting through, being the second ban coming out from Stony Brook University.
They are tired of the cat getting through. Just such a strong and annoying early game. It does fall off kind of in the mid, but just that late game, the heals, the final chapter coming through. Very annoying champion to deal with. I'm glad they banned it away. It's fun to watch, but not fun to play against.
Yeah, no, 3 cats gonna be banned out. Rengar, Katarina, Yuumi, all being taken off the table. Aurelia, Rise, and Orianna being taken out as well. Definitely target bans here coming out from both sides. But Aatrox's gonna be locked in as the first pick coming out from ANEW Esports, again with the flex picks.
Yeah,
and we've been seeing this.
Most of them available. The Aatrox, the Silas are still up. Rise and Aurelia didn't get through. I don't expect us to see any of the Akali that has been so popular, because she did get some meaningful nerfs in this last patch. But pretty much, if Aatrox and Silas are left up, you can expect them to be picked very early on. And now it's going to be You Look So Charming piloting that one. The reverse matchup.
Yeah, here's going to be the Sivir hover and going to be locked in. Again, Sivir hovering at one of the top tier ADCs in the meta right now. Again, you can use that boomerang blade over and over and over again.
No.
And oh, Jesus.
We go from the Yuumi to the Sona Taric. The bot lane of ANEW really just wants to give us something special to watch.
So this was something that they fell into the same trap last time versus Mirage Esports. They went with the Sonataric and they ended up just not doing well into it, or as playing it. So it's definitely questionable.
A vulnerable lane there in the bot side. Yes, it does scale like an absolute monster. You just have these AoE heals to keep your team topped off no matter what. But it is so susceptible to falling behind there in the early game, and we saw what a Sivir with a lead was able to do in Game 1. This time it's going to be Oddness piloting that Sivir and BioPanda picking up the Galio. A flash taunt on 2 members can just be a death sentence for a Sona Taric.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, right now for ANEW Esports, they're drafting a pretty solid team composition. If they end up getting the Jace or even a Camille top here for Stony Brook, they have a lot of engage, as well as the fact that Sausage Girl, if she does get the Silas, can do a lot with the Tarical, as well as the Crescendo coming out from the Sona. So for ANEW Esports, they do have to be careful, but the Jace can be taken immediately off the table. They do not want to see that Jace Galio combo.
The Jarvan.
Or yeah, Jarvan Galio.
Yeah, I was actually just going to talk about this pick. So strong in that dive buddy composition. You throw in the flag and drag, you lock everybody into the Cataclysm, and then you just pile all of your ultimates on top of it. Everybody press R at the same time. Not going to happen this time around, but things like the Rek'Sai, the Zinzel, those early game junglers that can dive in are still up on the table. We'll see if Whisperance wants to make a move towards those. Played the Talia last time around, that is banned away, so we will see something new coming from Whisperance.
Yeah, no, and the first pick,
gonna be?
We just gotta wait and see. It's going to be the Lee Sin.
Lee Sin, okay, that's actually very interesting. Not exactly what I expected, but still fits along those lines of early game damage jungler that can initiate that dive.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, you go into the backline with the Lee Sin, you follow with the Silas as well as the Galio engage, but one of Lee Sin's biggest counters in Rek'Sai is left up and is going to be
Ooh.
taken here for Yvonne. Yet another tempo jungler for him. So we're going to have to see if he does play this one a bit better than the Hecarim. That, yes, he did get a few early ganks off, but, you know, that mid game was really terrible for him. Let's see what they decide to pick here.
A little wanting, to say the least, but Rek'Sai does have a lot more early agency to move around the map and actually get some of these ganks off. Doesn't, you know, have to farm up as much for the Triforce, things like that. Very expensive build. Then Miko locked in, though. I assume that will probably be going to You Look So Charming, actually, as I believe they'll probably flex the Aatrox down there into the mid lane. But it looks like Stony Brook is going to answer with their own flex as they pick up Kennen in the top side.
Yeah, so this can really go either way. It's most likely going to be the Kennen going up to Sausage Girl. And you are right. The Nico's going to go up to face Kennen. So again, this is where flex picks come in massively. That now the Aatrox does have a better matchup with the Sylas. And we get to see a run back of last game with Sylas and Aatrox. But now they're going to be facing each other in this mid lane. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see that. But again, for both teams, they do have quite a bit of engage. You can hit the crescendo on Sona. You can go in with the Rek'Sai tunnel, World Ender with Aatrox, and the Pot Blossom, especially for Nico. That if she can get that, just like the Slicing Maelstrom with Kennen, it's going to be two massive team fight ultimates. And that Sylas is looking over like, I might have to steal one of your guys' ultimates real quick.
You have so many good ones to steal. The Tark ultimate going to be so huge in these team fights. The Pot Blossom, the World Ender. There's just such these big ticket ultimates that you can grab. Will definitely be a buffet of options for Dark Wings.
Yeah, no, and right now the biggest point for the side of ANEW Esports is the Sona Tark. If they pull the same thing that they did to Mirage Esports, they're going to get dumpstered. Like, there's no question about it. Just for the simple fact that the last time they played it, it just did not work out well, at least with Mirage. But if they can survive that early game, if they can be the nuisance of a lane that they're designed to be, then it's just going to be, you know, that mid-game team fight that, again, ANEW Esports loves to do, and they are probably just going to roll over Stony Brook if they're allowed to get to that point. But again, you still have the Sivir for oddness, and we saw how powerful that was when Dog played it correctly, able to farm up, able to hit those 3 items so quickly, and was able to take over the game from there.
It absolutely was, and we'll also get to see what Oddness and BioPanda can do with a little bit more, you know, lane pressure. They were going up against the Yuumi last time, such an annoying composition. It's hard to actually fight against that. This time, they have the power in the bot side. They should be the ones coming out on top. So we'll get to see a different look at them this time around. Should be a very exciting game to watch. These are two incredibly skilled teams, some of the best that we have in the Mountain group. And you don't get to be the best without playing the best. And if you're looking to set up some good practice scrims for yourselves, take a look at Scuttle Scrims. Are you looking for a fast and reliable way to find teams for your scrims for your teams to play? Then Scuttle Scrims is going to be your best friend. They're a reliable and easy application that allows you to quickly search for active teams of all ranks and skill levels that are looking for reliable practice partners. All you have to do is log in, search your specified ranks, and request a scrim. It's that easy. If you want more information, visit their website at scuttlescrims.com. But we will be going into another short break as these teams get onto the Rift. Don't go anywhere. Join us soon to see if Stony Brook can extend this to a Game 3 and keep their undefeated streak going. And welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of Stony Brook Esports versus ANEW. We will see which team is going to walk home with the win today, and who is going to retain their undefeated streak going into the Mountain Group. It is ANEW Esports up 1-0. They will have a chance to prove that they, are one of the best in this group.
Yeah, no, and I mean, as the games progress, it's what, a double round robin, I believe it is?
I believe you are correct.
So, I mean, if for the side of ANEW, they're able to take a 2-0 off of Stony Brook, even if they lose the next series in a 1-2, they still will get that first round bye, or that first seed, as long as they're able to, beat the other teams, seeing as though, they already did.
Yeah, so even though this is early on in the season, this is still a very important match when you're looking at playoffs. And teams like these, playoffs is definitely something that is in their sight, in their grasp.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, right, you have those big behemoths in Radiant, in Supernova, that will most likely get the first seed coming out of their group. So if you are ANEW Esports or you are Stony Brook, you want to be avoiding them at all costs. And the only way to do that is by getting the first seed or just being lucky with that second seed. But the guaranteed way to avoid it is by getting that first seed. So it's definitely important for them to be able to get it if they do want to get farther into the playoffs. And that's something that ANEW Esports has definitely been looking for, that they have been up there. They have been, that 3-4 team, and they want to start to push to that 1-2 team.
Well, ANEW Esports off to a good start. They had a very good showing here in Game 1. And the fans are split on who they think will win this game. It is a 50-50 vote in the chat on whether or not Stony Brook University can actually extend this to a Game 3. Both sides coming out in spades to support their teams. Here's the bot side. Dog already taking a little bit of poke, but should be fine here, farming under turret.
This is the lane in a nutshell.
Through that boomerang blade.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Sivert does. Again, ricochet with the boomerang blade. Just over and over and over again, trying to farm up. And I mean, Sonataric just trying to be a nuisance. But versus the Sivir, it's the one person that she doesn't really care. She can use her spell shield on almost anything and gain mana back. There's only one form of CC until level 6 coming out from the Taric, so it's not the worst lane to be in if you're Sivir. And see, there you go. Just instantly getting the mana back that she's been using throughout.
Level 2 levels up that spell shield. Makes it so hard for Serkenji to actually go in and engage, and now they're going to be farming under the first again. Already a 10 CS lead for that Sivir against the Taric, who, until Sona completes her support item, is the one that is going to be picking up the farm. So when you're comparing the CS numbers, you're going to be looking at Serkenji for a while.
Yeah, no, but then you look at the golds, and you have the Sona ahead of the Sivir by, 50 gold at this point. So, we love Sonataric as a lane, as a whole. It's very interesting.
Definitely, especially with the Kleptomancy with Frostfang Crocs.
But, we do see Lee Sin, and now we start to get towards where the junglers are starting to make an impact now. So we're going to have to see what happens here. Whoever gets the first gank off will really set themselves ahead for the game. Even though right now Rek'Sai has just finished the full clear. Galio trying to go in.
To be grabbed onto Serkenji, Boomerang Blade going through, but Dazzle going to pop the shield and keep him healthy. Now Lee Sin has cleared his entire jungle, looking for an invade, but not going to find much as Rek'Sai did the same. Was now wrapped around for a possible dive. Sausage Girl, the flash, the knockup, just immediately taking him down. A great gank there from Yvonne finds first blood.
Yeah, both junglers trying to dive on opposite sides. Lee Sin just chilling down here, wasting quite a bit of time though, which is not going to cost him much of anything, that he does get the Krugs in return. I don't really think much of anything will come from it. Sona's just going to back and TP, get that upgraded support item, and teleport right back in the lane.
And once again, we do have the Infernal being the first dragon spawn on the Rift, so should be a point of contention for these teams. More damage is always good, so both these teams are going to want that. Whisper into the mid lane. The Q going to land a flash away, but will it be enough? He's going to flash out, and Whisper trades one back, ties up the score.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the early game junglers trying to do what they can. Both of them getting the kills, but the Rek'Sai does get the first blood, so does have a bit of tempo here. Already got her recall off, and is going to be able to catch this mid wave. But again, great gank there coming out from Whisperin, trying to get Dark Wings for sale ahead. And I mean, we saw what he could do last game. Definitely pushed the mid-game tempo there. So hopefully he'll be able to do it again on this Silas pick, and it does have a lot of potential to carry the game.
We see it is Nico going for the AP build up there on the top side. You see a lot of the press the attack on hit still floating around. This time You Look So Charming is going for the burst damage and doing well for himself so far. Up 10 CS over the Ken.
Yeah, it's a pretty good matchup there for the Nico. She can get those autos in, but we're starting to see the damage coming out from the Sona. Gets the Q plus the empowered auto attack.
She actually has a dagger in her inventory, something a little bit unconventional for Sona.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I mean,
Yvonne cleaning on the bottom side though, but a taunt gonna land into Sir Kenji. Take a look at this fight. Looking for the dazzle. You Look So Charming though is teleported in. The Pop Blossom. So much damage that was going to be gifted over to Dog. Now Darkwing for sale could be caught out, but he's going to turn it around. The 1v2. This man just found so much for his team as now Whisper has joined the fight. The Blast Cone not going to buy enough distance for Yvonne as he is going to fall in quick succession.
So we're coming in with the teleport though. Not going to be caught out, but still great job coming out there. Again, we love the fact that Silas can steal someone's ult even if they're not level 6, ends up stealing the Rek'Sai ult and getting the execute off onto her. So really good damage there.
Justice Punch gonna knock Sir Kenji up into the air, but already a easily tanky Tark has that passive armor, so he's going to be just fine. Like you said, Darkwing's able to access that ultimate before Yvonne could. Able to turn around that 1v2 fight. Gonna be feeling very good here now in this mid.
Yeah, and this is massive. As long as Stony Brook can continue to build an advantage here, they'll be able to spike in that mid game really hard. Both teams really do want that mid game, and I mean, it kind of looks pretty even. The only thing that will kind of make a difference is that Lee Sin towards the late game isn't as strong as per se a Rek'Sai, but either way, both teams still love the late game. That's a crescendo.
Dazzle not gonna find the Zipper, the tunnel though, the knock up, and Yvonne finds the kill. He's gonna find 2 as he dominates the bot lane. Very good wrap around there, and you can see the power of the ultras once they come through. Julian struggling against this Silas here in the mid lane after he did get a lot of gold in his pocket. Already sitting on the Seeker's arm guard, so very hard to actually trade against.
I know Yvonne definitely having a much better game than he was last game. Now sitting at 3-1. Going to be stealing the blue buff. Gonna have to see if Lee Sin wants to respond, but he's just sitting in that top lane. Been sitting there for about 20 seconds. Gonna see what he can do.
In the ward though. Gonna throw out the clone just to say, hey,
wait a minute
here. But Yvonne once again returns to this bot side. Otis, that is so much damage going down. The ultimate is going to be spell shielded, but it's not going to be enough as Yvonne takes his score to 4-1.
Yeah, and I mean, they're rectifying their mistakes that they did last time when they played Sona Taric. For the side of ANEW, they're starting to put the camp down in that bot lane, putting the, the RV there. They're setting up, the TV, just being nice and cozy there for Yvonne, getting the Sona Taric ahead.
Marshmallows, roasting them over the fire.
Oh yeah, it's that summertime. We're in the summer league right now. Like you gotta set up that camp just a little bit. And Lee Sin's trying to set something up here up top.
Charming is not having fun at the campfire right now. Whisperance gonna force out the flash there. You're just gonna find the minion as Yvonne was waiting in the wings to help his top laner out.
The thing is, Whisperance is setting up such a hard camp in the top lane, but it's not becoming to the effect of what Yvonne has done in that bot lane. So the Kennen is now up 10 CS, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. 10 CS is nothing in comparison to the 4 kills that Yvonne has gotten towards that bot lane, or 3 kills in this game.
Now it is the Infernal Dragon going over to Stony Brook as well. So with Yvonne coming up to that top side, they're able to pick up a pretty good objective for themselves.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You gotta wonder if they'll actually be able to survive long enough to make use of it.
They might be looking towards that Rek'Sai here.
Yvonne finding the Q. Julian is struggling here in this mid lane, falling down to about a quarter HP as Shane not gonna land, and now Yvonne is wrapping around Darkwings. He's just gonna go in and find the kill instead. Now the Rek'Sai is in trouble. Sausage throwing out the ultimate here on the top side. You look so charming is solo. One more on attack will find
double crescendo.
A great double crescendo as Yvonne now on a rampage and looking for more as the ultimate comes through. A double kill. Sausage Girl flashing forward and finding one for himself before he gets collapsed on and trading back all over the map. I believe it was a 2-for-1 trade that time in favor of ANEW Esports.
Great double crescendo there, though.
That was beautiful. You can see the ultimates from Dog and Sir Kenji coming in clutch in these team fights. And now, Sivir speeding themselves up towards Dog. Doesn't have the crescendo available. No sums either. Dodges the Justice Punch. That was a very nice juke. As here, the target's going to come in now with the Cosmic Radiance. They're just going to turn this around. Bio Panda, can he get out? Flashes over the wall. Sir Kenji has the flash available if he wants to find the CC. Bio Panda is so low. There it is. The flash over, but the nice stopwatch. Bio Panda goes gold in a taunt. Gonna keep him alive. And he's going to walk away from that one. Beautifully played by both sides. Nobody's gonna fall on that trade.
My goodness. Just the fancy feet coming out from Dog there. Dodges the Justice Punch.
Now he is in trouble. Has to pop a World Ender just to keep himself safe. Now wants to go in, but Whisperance has joined. Misses the Q. So Julian might be able to survive this. Darkwings going in, has to flash away. Solo just survives. This health bar didn't pop that World Ender.
Yeah, great Dragon's Rage coming out from Whisperance. Saves his stylist just a little bit. Well,
Whisperance, no more defensive tools available. Does Lord off over to Darkwings. You look so charming, not able to find that one as Darkwings comes to the rescue of his jungler.
Oh my goodness, that's a tilter right there, but what's not a tilter is 3 plates going down, make that a 4th. This is gonna be first tower going over to ANEW Esports yet again. The rotations from ANEW Esports are building them such a gold lead. Yvonne now sitting at 6-1, carrying the game right now. Let's see if he's going to be able to keep up this pressure as the mid game is now coming upon us.
Definitely is. It is ANEW Esports sitting in the driver's seat with about a 3,000 gold lead to their name. She looks so charming, just trying to defend this top lane turret. Whisperance is wrapping around. The Pop Blossom is going to be used, trying to find Sausage Girl. Just defensively taking out the minions, making sure he is not going to get dove. He knows that Whisperance is more than likely up here on the top side.
Yeah, so
he's going to find the recall. Just get out of dodge.
Yeah, gonna have to get out of there, and it's most likely just going to be the tower going down in the top lane. But again, that dragon is still available. So Yvonne is going to see the Lee Sin there and going to go immediately towards that dragon.
Is the Cloud Drake going to be the one available? We might see a team in the lead grabbing a Cloud Drake this time around.
But I mean, for the opposite side, they already have the Infernal Drake.
They do already have
so it's still the same thing. To where, you know, one team is just going to get all Infernals, the other's going to get all Cloud Drakes. So it's a fun time. Fun time.
Carrying out here around this river. Drake will go over to ANEW Esports. the wave clearing here in the bottom side. As it's really even out here for the Stony card. They fell down a little bit early in CS, but they are definitely doing well now. Combined of around 120, just over what Sivir is at. And you can see this Sona, she is, sitting 800 gold above the Sivers. Hold on here in the top side. Ultimate gonna come in from Sausage Girl, stun up Aatrox, but with the Nico waiting just around the corner, decides it's better and just walks away.
Yeah, no, I mean, right now, the Lee Sin is still super strong, as well as your Sylas. So as long as their Stony Brook, they start to play around that a little bit, should be fine. Yvonne able to just take the tunnel, get out of a sticky situation. But we do see Lee Sin walking towards the bot side. They might be trying to collapse onto this Sona Taric. I don't know how effective that'll be. If they even try to do it.
Available. Very tough to actually kill those with the Cosmic Radiance coming through. Dog's Flash is just about to come up. You find a good little bit of poke, but the healing should bring it right back up. As Yvonne here in the mid lane finds a knockup under turret. The drag back into turret range. Now they're gonna flash forward, find the knockup. Ultimate stolen from Darkwing's gonna use it. But I don't know if he can actually survive. Yvonne doesn't have his ultimate, but the tunnel forward, and Julian will find the kill. A quick 1-2 punch there for ANEW Esports.
Yeah, Yvonne just way too far ahead. You have to be able to respect him. And no one's really respecting the amount of damage that Rek'Sai can do, especially with Conqueror. The amount of true damage kind of becomes pretty disgusting. That's going to be Oddness and Biopanda being forced to back, as the mid tower is now going to be put under siege. Bot lane tower as well. Going to be the tower T2 going down to the mid lane, and the T1 as well going down to the bot lane. A major lead now coming out for the side of ANEW Esports.
You can hear the sound of stone crumbling all over the map as ANEW Esports grabs multiple towers for themselves, really opening up the avenues that they can traverse here. Going forward, and now 17 minutes in, we don't have any major objectives like Baron spawning quite yet, but it is still a sizable lead for ANEW Esports, and they are firmly in position to take this series.
Yeah, no, right now the Sivir is just really far behind. Not that much resources went into them, whereas Yvonne was setting up the RV down bot. So, I mean, it's very difficult to be able to deal with that if you are the Sivir. Yes, you do have a lot of wave clear, but when you're into a matchup like this, wave clear doesn't really mean much of anything, because the Sona does get her gold from poking at you. So even though you're able to push the wave out, it doesn't really matter. That dog is still going to come out ahead no matter what you do.
Mancy plus Frostfang doing so much work for that Stone in the bot lane is now they're going to be pushing up, trying to take these structures on the top side. Darkwings will trade one back here in the bottom lane. So now we see big item breakpoints starting to come through. Sylas finishing at loot and Echo. Next Retriever coming in for the Sivir. So although they're behind, they're starting to get some of their big ticket breakpoints.
Yeah, I know, but the issue with Sivir, she is one of those champions that needs 3 items. And especially if you go into that Essence Reaver IE, you don't have the attack speed to be able to be doing damage. Most people like to go the PD second no matter what you do. But going into the IE, you do really delay into that.
Over here, the ultimate gonna come through from Kenny. Finds 2, but not able to find the kill as Yvonne grabs the takedown on the backhand. Great crescendo, keeping him alive. Now Pop-Ups are gonna be charged. Twice as Darkwing steals that one. Flash over the wall, Whisperance looking to follow. Will he be able to land the Q? It doesn't even get the chance as Darkwings is gonna flash that for that one. But now here in the mid lane, they're diving into the base. They don't care about the inhibitor turrets. Yvonne is legendary. And now ANEW Esports is looking to break the base.
Yeah, there's no minions there though. So the inhibitor tower will live. But again, Yvonne on the front every single time trying to make plays. The Nico does fall down. Great Dragon's Rage coming out from Whisperin. But we might see a huge fight here coming out for the Dragon. We'll have to see Aatrox in a kind of questionable position.
Might have found Whisper. Now Darkwing wants to go in, steals the Rek'Sai ultimate. Will he be able to use it? Goes invulnerable, uses the stopwatch.
Crescendo coming up soon.
Crescendo not quite available, will be here soon. Here comes the Galio ultimate. The silence will fall. Whisper in the backline though. It's gonna take Yumuko Charming so low. Now Julian flashes over the wall. The Crescendo finds 3. That was huge.
Pop Blossom
gonna be channeled. Is going to find 2. A triple kill for the Sivir, but it is going to be Stony Brook fighting back. Now 1 versus 1. The last 2 members available. Who's gonna find the ace? It's going to be Stony Brook as Sausage Girl finds a double kill. Very even fight across the board, but at the end of it all, Stony Brook University has the edge, and they will pick up their 2nd Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was pretty bad that Julian got caught out almost instantaneously with Yvonne in that fight. If they were able to survive just a little bit longer and get those World Ender off, you know, it would have probably been a completely different fight. That there were so many takedowns so quickly that if he would have been able to get that reset over and over again.
Oh, and it's stolen away. That it's got to be so demoralizing. Sausage Girl not running for his life is going to trade the kill over as well. Beautiful bedazzle coming through from Sir Kenji, grabbing his team, the Infernal Dragon.
Oh my goodness. Hello? Question mark? Like,
can we start the ping in the chat? Can we see the all chat after that one?
Like, my goodness.
Where's
just
the pro view when you need it?
Yeah, right? Like Double F said, you can see the trash plays coming out from anyone. Yvonne trying to make something happen here.
Still steals the World Ender, tries to get away, goes back in onto Yvonne. Whispers has joined here. Also going to be channeled through, and Yvonne is able to find that takedown. Now here in the bot side, Dog is getting very
Crescendo
low.
hits.
Crescendo's so much damage though. Is the burst gonna go through? Now Sir Kenji, Cosmic Radiance can keep him invulnerable. Now Julian continuing the chase. This fight still is not over. Tangle Barb's gonna be having to flash away from Sausage Girl. W is going to land. Sausage Girl getting dragged back in. He could be in trouble to knock up the Tangle Barbs, and he is going to go back to base.
Yeah, this is just going to be the inhibitor in the mid lane going down. There's nothing that Stony Brook can do here as they also lay siege onto the bot lane tower 22.5 minutes into the game. And it just looks doomed for the side of Stony Brook. Already an 8k lead and looking to grow even more.
22 minutes into the game, breaking the base. One inhibitor down, the second one looking to fall. Cosmic Radiance going to be stolen by Darkwind, going to find only 2 members. It's the rest of the team. Probably going to back off now, but Flash knockout and just deletes Whisperance from the map. Now missing their jungler, they are going to be looking to push forward. Sausage Girl is going to find one man. Ultimate just going to trade his life in the backside. Crescendo going to find the Sivir, and she is going down. Big ticket member is going to fall for Stony Brook University, and it's going to be ANEW Esports looking to find the 2-0 sweep. They came into this series as the underdogs, 1 game behind Stony Brook. They are looking to demolish that stigma, and they're just diving the fountain at this point. They find the ace, even though they trade over 3 members, and they're going to find a very decisive 2-0 victory.
I guess you can say we have a new person in the #1 spot here in the Mountain Division, coming out here, putting on a dominant 2-0 performance, just running a train on Stony Brook University. There's just nothing that they can do. All off of the back of Yvonne here in the 2nd game. I mean, had a questionable first game, but comes back in this 2nd game on the Rek'Sai, 12-3-5, ganking every single lane, making sure everyone's ahead, and ANEW Esports is now the kings of Mountain Division.
Absolutely beautiful performance also from Dog of Zatsmod there in the bot side. With the losing matchup, the Sonat's Heart, they were able to just do so much work, thanks in part to Yvonne, but, you know, both game 1 and game 2, right at the thick of it, it was always Dog with the carry performances. So beautiful performance out of ANEW. I think if we had any doubts about them coming into this series, they're gone now.
Yeah, no, definitely coming from week 1, they definitely look like a new team coming out. Jeez, I need to stop. But
don't encourage Twitch chat. They've been doing that all series.
who? But no, they definitely look like a different team. The Sonataric definitely didn't work in that second game of the Mirage series. But now coming out here, finishing a Sonataric game, pre 24 minutes is something that you don't normally see all too often. But we see ANEW Esports just coming out and smashing everyone. And a lot of it does come around with Dog hitting those 3-man crescendos over and over and over again. And especially hitting Oddness in the back line, was a massive part of them, winning this series 2-0.
It absolutely was, but I think it's going to wrap it up for us here on the broadcast desk. Thank you so much to everybody that came out and watched the stream. We will be back next week with another UPL matchup. Dawn Esports take on First Blood Crusade. If you guys want to check that one out, make sure you follow the channel. We also feature the UML and UCL here, so there's lots of League of Legends for you to watch, but we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for coming out, and we will see you next week.